I had a lot of you say to me on my primary school video that I made a few weeks back saying that loads of you did the things that I said, so I thought I'd make a part 2 of 15 things we all do or did in primary school. So let's kick off with number 1. At the end of a lesson, whenever a teacher would ask everyone to tidy up, you really didn't feel like tidying up, and because you lived the thug life, you just walk around the class pretending to pick stuff up, you know, just do a few laps, but you never really picked anything up, did you? I suppose then came the awkward moment when you had to show the teacher what you were going to put in the bin and you didn't have anything, so you just sort of rummaged around in your pockets for any rubbish. That really awkward and life-destroying moment when you accidentally call the teacher Mum. This happened to me in year 4, I think it was, and it was just really embarrassing. You just take it back, but people laugh at you anyway, and it's just really awkward, and it's the kind of thing that people mention to you for weeks after that. Aha! You were the kid that called the teacher Mum. Loser. So another thing that happened in primary school is when you went to someone's birthday party, it was quite often at bowling, like Bowlplex or whatever company that does bowling, and you'd always buy those sweets in those machines. I'll try and put a picture up here. Not really because of the value for money, because to be honest, you got like 5 sweets for 20p. It was just so you could twist the money and get the sweets out the bottom that made you do it. It was really clever. And also when you went to parties at bowling, in the cinema and stuff like that, you'd get a slush puppy and do as many different flavours in one as you can, just to make some kind of usually brown looking mesh of flavours that actually tasted really good most of the time. This could have just been my school, but in the early years of primary school, they made you take the register down with another student, and you'd stand like one at the front and one at the back just carrying this flat register as if it was like some kind of treasure that you needed 2 people to protect on the way to the office. And I don't really know why, you just felt really, really cool taking it there. Right, so in PE, you know you had those big mats? Some of them were quite thin, and they were supposed to be cushiony blankets of comfort, but instead they were like unforgiving concrete slabs on the floor that did absolutely nothing, and you were expected to roll over on these, and it hurt. It hurts your back, okay? They made us do some crazy things with landing on those mats, and they weren't the big thick ones that the big kids got to use. They were the really thin ones that were really uncomfortable. Do you remember that kid who always thought he was really cool because he had plimp soles when everyone else had bare foot? Now, if you were in middle school and you ever had a crush on someone, it was your personal mission to get their signature in either your shirt or in a book on the last day, or you had failed primary school. Primary school just ended if you didn't get their signature. Next we come to probably the hardest decision you'd ever have to make in first school. Choosing which one of these bad boys you'd have to use in your Word document to make it look proper snazzy. I think the ones I chose were the blue wavy one and the rainbow one. It's just that when you got older, the rainbow one looked kind of lame just because it was a bit distracting and kind of annoying. A bit like Comic Sans, you know? Everyone used to use that and now it's just really annoying. So you'd be in class and you'd finish a test or something, then there's always that one kid that goes, "Miss, I'm done!" And then he runs to the front to go and tell the teacher that he's done, but everyone else has already finished before him, and you were actually waiting for him to finish, but he just thinks he's the first one finished, so he goes and shows the teacher. He didn't finish first. Okay, so I don't know if you had these. They're projectors in your first school, but we did, and in the assemblies we'd use these and project it onto the big screen before we had all this cool new technology, and it always felt really cool to put the sheets on and off and have it change on the big screen as you moved it. But it was also the scariest job ever, because if you messed up, everyone in assembly was thinking the wrong words, and it was your fault, and you'd have to live with that for the rest of your life. So at break or lunch, you'd be playing a game of football, just a friendly game of football with your friends, and as soon as someone gets hit in the face with a football, you're playing with a sponge football for the rest of your life to try and stop the injuries. And it's just not as fun with a sponge football, I'm telling you now. In primary school, you, or at least someone around you, definitely had one of these. Wow, the fortune tellers. And we just assumed it was right, for no real reason. It was just always right, and to this day, it is still always right. Just remember that rubber that was supposed to rub out pen, when it never really rubbed out pen. It was just scraping the paper off so the pen was gone. That awesome moment that only a few kids get to experience is when you get let into the staff room and it feels like you're crossing the borders into like Narnia or something. That's how amazing it is. Then all the teachers are looking at you and judging you like, what is that brat doing in here? But you're in there anyway, and it's cool because they can't really tell you to leave because you're doing a job for a teacher. As soon as the teacher gives you power to do a job, you think you're on par with the teachers and you can just ignore what they say. Yeah, I thought that a lot. Then you get to go back to your friends and be like, oh, what was it like? What was it like in the staff room, the room of mystery, you know? Yeah, all that stuff. Okay, so I don't know if this happened for you, but there's always that one kid in PE who, when they get changed for PE, they have no trouble getting fully naked. Why do you need a change of underwear to change into your PE kit? Maybe afterwards I could sort of understand if you like go behind a curtain as well, because, you know, that's gross and no one wants to see your pre-puberty But why before you do PE would you need to change your underwear to do PE? That's just gross and people don't want to see that. Just tuck it away. And finally, you feel really awesome when you discover your teacher's first name. And every so often you try and slip in their first name and try and call them by their name and see if they notice. And for some reason, a lot of teachers just give you that death stare, and I don't really know why. You're being nice. You're calling them by their name, not Mr. Smith. Yeah. I don't understand that. You're just being courteous, man. So, thank you for watching this video. I had a lot of fun making this video. This will probably be the last part, but if I can think of 15 others somehow, then I'll probably do a part 3 of this. So, yeah, leave your comments and tell me what you thought below. If you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If we could get to 100 likes, that would be crazily awesome of you. And I'm nearly at 100 followers on Instagram, which is crazy. You guys have made accounts for me. You've made a Far From Film fan page account, which is pretty dang awesome. So, yeah, as soon as I reach 100 followers on Instagram, my next video will be a Q&A, so could be Friday. We don't know. And also we reached 3,000 subscribers, which is crazy. And I do want to say something. So my girlfriend had a proposition for me. She wanted to wax my legs, but we agreed on something. So if by the end of next year, so by the end of 2015, I reach 10,000 subscribers on this channel, or whenever I reach 10,000 subscribers on this channel, if that happens before the end of next year, she can wax my leg. And I have hairy legs. So if you want to see that, then get subscribing. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on Friday.